Hello, I hope that you are having a great day. I hope that it's prosperous, and I hope that you are doing everything that you want to do to have a better life and build a better life. Today, I just wanted to come to you just to have a really quick conversation about an article that I read earlier that was written on something that Warren Buffett said. Now, a lot of you know who Warren Buffett is. He's the richest man apparently in the world. He has like billions and trillions of dollars. But something that we have to understand is a lot of times we don't have the blueprint for creating generational wealth. So we have to look outside of what we would usually look at to actually figure out what is going on in the financial world. And one person that knows about finances is Warren Buffett. It's something that I talk about a lot is leaving that legacy and leaving a legacy to be able to say, this is what I did. A lot of times I talk about the dash, because one thing that we're all guaranteed when we're born is that we will one day pass away. But what's important to us is that dash that's in between, and that is everything that we've done between those two dates. So the dash is very important. And so what Warren Buffett said was that one thing that he suggests is all parents talk to their children before they sign their will. As someone who goes out and talks to our retiree senior citizens community, a lot of times they're saying like they're doing their will and their family isn't involved in what's going on with their will at all. So what this means is when they pass away and the will is being read, it's kind of like a shock to everyone in the room, what they're left with, what they're not left with. And this can cause a lot of turmoil, families to fall out because they're finding out at the reading of the will that their parent did this and wrote this in the will, and they don't understand why. They're not understanding, why did I get this amount of money, but my brother got this amount of money, not remembering that mom and dad gave you a down payment for a house or a car and your sibling didn't get this. So that was factored into the funds and what was going on with the funds. Or if you are the one that is always asking your parents for money and your sibling doesn't ask your parents for money, it's like we've given you a lot of money as the years have gone past in your adulthood. We've helped you. We haven't done anything for your siblings, so we wanted to make sure that it was fair. You got yours up front, they got theirs in a lump sum payment at the end. Not being able to explain the will. What if you are just getting the reading when the parent or the person passes away? You don't have that opportunity to ask. And that's what Warren Buffett is saying, is that you want to give your children, your spouse, whoever it is, grandchildren, whoever it is that you're going to be putting in your will, you want to give them the chance to ask questions like, okay, why did you do this? Why didn't you do this? Now, he also suggests you know your family. So that's something that you have to remember, is you know your family. If you have a child that is a spender or has an addiction, or, just is irresponsible or not mature, you don't want to tell them, oh, well, when I die, you're going to get $2 million. You want to keep some stuff if you can't disclose that to them, so you know who your children are. So if you're like, my kids, I can't tell them this information, then that's okay too. But you have to start the process of talking about what happens when you are no longer here, because that day will come. And you don't want your family to either have to do a GoFundMe to bury you because they didn't know that you didn't have any insurance or any like policies paid or anything, or do you want your family to, have an understanding of what is going to happen, what we'll get, how will we be able to pay for it, this is the money and how to be divided up. You want to give them that option and that opportunity to ask you questions. And the reason why you do this before you sign it is because if they give like suggestions, because you want to make sure that you listen, if they give suggestions on like, mom, maybe you should do this, or dad, maybe you should do this, or grandma, maybe you should do this, and they're sensible and they're like, okay, that's understandable, you can still make changes within your will before you sign it and have it submitted to the recorder of whoever is doing the will itself. Understanding that these conversations, they are tough. They really are. They're tough. And they're not easy for anyone. But it's better to have this conversation up front right now when you have the chance to explain than to have your family, your loved ones guessing, trying to figure out why did you do what you did and how you did it. And understanding that these conversations, while they are tough, they could actually strengthen your relationship. Like they could actually bring you closer because when you think about death, you actually hold on to the things and the people that you love the most more. So when you have this conversation, it could make your children, your spouse, your grandchildren actually look at you and see like, mom, grandma, wife, she is getting a little bit older, health wise, there are things that are changing. And I want to make sure that before we have to execute this will, because mom, dad, grandma is no longer, grandpa is no longer here, we start to strengthen our relationship. We spend more time. Let's do more things. Let's do more family activities so that we can give those flowers while we're still here and not when we're no longer here and it's at a casket, because that's not what we want. We want to be able to make those memories and those good and healthy memories. That is what I wanted to come to you to talk to you about. Just remember, your family. You know your children, you know what they can and can't handle, but you also know that now is the time for us to start to make those important decisions, those important changes, and we're the ones that are going to have to do it. So I'm a millennial, so that means that you're going to have to do it for your parents and your grandparents probably, because you are at that age where you're like, I'm an adult. But you also, some of us have children. So you're going to have to do that for your children also. So we're at that age where we're doing it and we're in that generation where we're multi-generation raising basically, because we raised our grandparents and our parents and our children. But your family, the dynamics, who you can tell, who you can't tell. And even if you can't tell everyone who is going to be in the will, you want to start to have those conversations with the ones that you can have those conversations with. I will say, for me, the most important thing when creating your will, one of the questions that you should ask everyone who is going to be a part of it is what's important to them. Because you never know what may be important to them. Maybe they have a favorite glass that you have in your china cabinet, or they want your jewelry, or they want a certain piece of jewelry, or they want your slippers. Like, you never know what's important to someone else. So you may also want to make sure that you ask them what is important to them, and if it's feasible and you can do it, give them that, and make sure that in that event of you no longer being here, that they have that piece of you that that they cherish the most. That's actually something that my grandmother did for us. My grandmother is still here, she's still living, but what she did was she likes crystal. Like, ever since I've been born, I'm the first grandchild, she's collected crystal, and I feel like it was before then too, but I remember us going to like Value City, and she taught me how to pluck the glass and all this stuff. Like, if it go ding, it's real, but if it go doom, then it's glass. So she taught me how to tell the difference between crystal and glass. What she did is she had all of her grandchildren come over, and she has like wine glasses and champagne flutes and all kinds of stuff. And she had us pick out a set that we all wanted, so that we had a piece of something that was important to her. So think about something that you have, that you've collected, that you want to make sure that they have a piece of something that you find valuable. That is actually all that I came here to talk to you about today. I hope that this conversation gets you thinking, and gets you seeing like the importance of starting to have financial discussions within your home with those that you love the most, even if it's not your children, your parents, your grandparents, starting to have those conversations, so that you and they are prepared for whatever may happen down the road. If this conversation was something that you found beneficial, you found that it was useful, please share this video, and comment just to let me know that you're feeling it, that you're digging it, that you're in it, so I can create more content like this. It may not be this topic, this discussion, but I will be putting in, and I can put in more videos on legacy and building legacy in ways that you can, and tools and resources that you can get and you can use so that you can propel your creation of wealth. Because that's all this is about, is creating wealth, so that we can live the life that we want to live. And wealth may not just be money, it may be health. It may be, your mental, it may be your physical, like it may be all of these things, but you will need finances to do all of those things in a good way, in a way that you like it. So I want to make sure that we are becoming financially empowered. So I'm going to keep teaching. I'm going to keep giving have these discussions. But I just want to know, what are topics that you want to hear, and the topics that I am giving you are these topics that you are enjoying, that you want to know more about, so that I can keep creating this content that is going to empower you. So I hope that you have a great day. I hope that it is prosperous, and I hope that you know that everything that you want, you are worth. You just have to work for it.